teens popping wheelies and performing some acrobatic moves down center of streets like Broad and Market in the height of rush hour. Their thrill-seeking maneuvers, though, have caused some near misses with drivers.
Tonight, police say those teens are putting themselves and drivers in big danger. Fox 29's Dave Schratweiser has a story.
They're young, they're talented, and they like to showcase their skills on some of the most well-traveled roadways in Philadelphia. Sometimes at rush hour.
They're all over the street.
They're doing something that can be extremely dangerous, not only to themselves, but to other people, if you're doing that on a city street.
These teenage wheelie-popping bike riders can be seen most days in Center City. Sometimes they gather near City Hall and take to Market or Broad Streets looking for fun and some thrills.
No, they're in the middle of the street everywhere. They're riding everywhere. They gotta stop them.
But drivers and the police aren't so thrilled with their skills, their center lane escapades, or their risky behavior in traffic.
Dangerous. I mean, I understand that they're kids, and kids do things that don't make sense to adults. I mean, we've all been there.
We showed video of the teenage riders to police. They watched as a handful of teenage acrobats cruised Market Street recently, popping wheelies and showing off. They ran red lights with car horns blaring, just missing some cars crossing Market Street. None of the teens were wearing a helmet.
This is one of those things where they could be killed themselves.
A few blocks closer to City Hall, they came screeching to a halt when they tried to cruise through one red light into oncoming traffic.
You're not expecting someone in a bike to come darting in front of you. If the operator of that vehicle is quick enough to respond to that, then maybe they avoid hitting that person, but they may not avoid the person behind them rear-ending them.
Undeterred, they pedaled on, cruising through the crowded crosswalk, just missing pedestrians crossing Market Street.
Pedestrian versus bike, it's going to be the bike that usually wins that, and so again, you have that probability that somebody can be seriously injured.
Police and other drivers are concerned that these daring and dangerous maneuvers could end up in an accident that could harm not only the kids on bikes, but drivers.
These kids are old enough to clearly know right from wrong, and to clearly know that this is not something they should be doing. In that video, you see a couple of them laughing, and so some of this is probably a game to some of them.
The latest statistics show that there are more than 250,000 children injured in bike accidents every year nationwide. About 60% of those occur in urban areas. And according to the latest statistics, 60% of the children injured in bike accidents weren't wearing helmets. Police also worry that these teens on bikes could be the next generation of bikers illegally racing through traffic on local highways and city streets.
They make their way to dirt bikes or ATVs, and then they begin doing those same tricks. Again, like I said, you can't take away their skill level or their level of enthusiasm or excitement in doing that, and, taking those stunts and doing things like that. But again, it's just not smart.
Lieutenant Stanford also pointed out that the city has constructed parks for skateboarders and bikers. Police believe these young people would be safer trying their tricks there.
There are venues for you to do those things, and so again, we would encourage their parents to seek out some of those venues and get their kids involved in that positive environment. It's just a dangerous situation where somebody can be seriously hurt. Hope the parents will address this with their kids.
Dave Schratweiser, Fox 29 News.
Okay, today's topic, contrast. I can't help but feel the need to create some contrast. Excuse me, that my back is absolutely killing me. That 3-minute video. Killed my back. All right. Contrast. Okay, so first of all, those type of bicycles that you saw in that video, those are called BMX, the smaller ones, and some of the larger ones are what you would call a trials bike. Seth over at Seth Bike Hacks, check out his channel. He would be able to give you a full description on that type of cycling, that type of riding. This is why I say to the police that, my name is not Danny MaCASKILL. check out Danny MaCASKILL's channel and Facebook page. And speaking of Danny MaCASKILL, I couldn't help but chuckle to myself when the police captain, or was he a chief? Whatever. When he was saying, we don't want to slight these kids' skills, they're very talented. It's a beginning. I'm sure, Phil Metz, Seth, Danny MaCASKILL, Martin Ashton, a lot of them would, pat those kids on the head and tell them, well, it's a nice beginning. Skills, like I say, well, check out Skills with Phil's over at his bike channel. And I'm sorry, but Danny MaCASKILL is the king, okay? The shit he does will have you on the edge of your seat, holding your breath. Sweet mother of Lord, this has got to be trick photography. It's not trick photography, and the person that can tell you exactly how much it's not trick photography would be his his best friend, compatriot, Martin Ashton. A trick went wrong. Martin is now confined to a wheelchair. All right. But I really felt the need to create this video to inform my audience. I need to give you contrast. I am not a stunt cyclist. I am a vehicular cyclist. I was speaking with a Pleasantville lieutenant, Salapini or something like that, when I was reporting Officer Ralph Burke's harassment, seizure of property, unlawful arrest. I'm not going to get off into that right now, but I was trying to inform him that there are different sections of, there are different demographics, different disciplines of cycling. I'm not even sure those kids, they were more hooligan than street trials, although the line can clearly be blurred, I'm trying very hard not to blanch off here into a whole different topic of poor, minority, black. I didn't really see too closely as to what type of bikes they had. They probably were not, they weren't even mid-range bikes probably. The kids aren't bad by nature. They want to do something. They just simply live in an urban jungle. And, by default, they do the things that they do. So, I'm not trying to just, indiscriminately throw poor minority kids under the bus, although they might put themselves under the bus, riding like that in inner city traffic. Takes me back to my point here. I am a vehicular cyclist, not a stunt cyclist. All of my actions on the road are highly predictable. You know when I'm turning left and when I'm turning right. Well, at least I would hope you would. There's been on more than one occasion when I have extended my arm to signal my turn, and I will have usually a younger rider, wave at me, try to high five me. Dude, I'm not trying to high five you. I think I've even had a couple of people, I get mistaken for being a cop sometimes on my bike. I'll have drivers like thinking that I'm trying to tell them to pull over, like I'm a cop pulling them over. I'm not pulling you over, stupid. I'm signaling my turn. Like I say, my actions on the road, they're highly predictable. As long as you are privy to motor vehicle laws, cycling laws, which are a part of your motor vehicle laws, then it's a shared responsibility. Obviously, every last single one of those kids were just blatantly in the wrong. Like the police officer said, wrong place, wrong time, wrong everything. You know, that type of cycling is recreational cycling. You know, again, not trying to tell them that they shouldn't be doing it. You just shouldn't be doing it there. They're not trying to get somewhere. They're not necessarily using their bicycles for transportation. They're out there using it for recreation, for pleasure, for thrill seeking. You know, none of the things that I am. I am transportationally oriented, excuse me. Transportationally oriented. And I adhere to the law. I am a very safe cyclist. Actually, that video I just played you, it came from a video, 15-second clip. Apparently, a whole slew of these kids took to the freeway. At first, I thought that was a critical mass demonstration. I know a lot of you are like, critical what? All on YouTube. A critical mass demonstration. They can be done various ways. Many times they are done with the assistance, you know, in tandem with local law enforcement. They get permits, they cordon off streets. Police will do escorts and things like that. That is more of a jovial party atmosphere, suburban party atmosphere, community atmosphere, and that's fine. That's wonderful. Sometimes you will have it's this more demonstratively orientated, such as your Ride for Silence. You know, that's more somber, and that is done because somebody has either been killed or injured, and that's usually also done, you know, with the assistance of the police department. And then you have full-blown rogue critical mass demonstrations. They are excuse me, organized, be it social media. Critical mass has they have no leaders. They have no, it's very, you know, it's an amalgamation. Kind of like, you know, Anonymous, the hacker group. There is no particular leader, so kind of like that. So, and critical mass demonstrations they take place all over the world. In America as well, and some are deliberately done for the purposes of actual traffic impediment. Many cyclists will come to a halt, causing drivers to come to a halt, while other cyclists, merge onto the road. There have been, on YouTube, there have been some cases where the driver snaps, loses it, and just plows through the cyclist, you know. And that's like a whole separate argument of motor road rage, psychology. You know, I get it. Those cyclists are probably very much indeed in the wrong. They are breaking the law. They are guilty of the charges that have been given me. Traffic impediment. You have swarmed the road. You have caused traffic to come to a complete stop or near stop. You know, there are no roads. There are no lanes for these motorists to change over into because you've taken all the lanes and you've swarmed it. So I get it that those cyclists are in the wrong, but dude, psychology, road rage. You're really going to snap and plow through this protest demonstration? You're about to commit mass murder or mass injury or both. Really? think. I get it. The cyclists are wrong in that instance. I get it, but you're really ready to go to jail for wanton, premeditated murder. All right, guys. Hopefully this is giving you a little bit of contrast. Again, I am a vehicular cyclist. I am not a BMX cyclist. I am not a trials cyclist. I'm not even a mountain biker. You know, I don't even do downhill. I'm a commuter. You know, the Black Rider. It is a bicycle.